All right, welcome to the Muscle Maturity Podcast, episode 105. I'm here with 1983 Mr. Olympia, Samir Bannout, Marcus Guerrero from Old School Labs, and my name is John Hansen. And today, guys, we are going over the Mr. Olympia, our Mr. Olympia recap, biggest show of the year. Me and Samir were out in Las Vegas watching the show, doing interviews, doing the recap. So, Marcus, why don't you take over and you could just start asking us questions and
We have
First off, I already told the guys before. I'm like, okay, I got so many questions to ask because obviously it's the biggest show of the year, and they were there in person. So I had to I had to explore the mind of these two geniuses when it comes to bodybuilding. So first and foremost, one, how was it? What was the highlight for you in just the overall weekend? Spitball, John, go ahead and answer first, man.
It was great. It was a great competition. They always do a great job at this show. It's, the biggest show of the year. So it's the most exciting show of the year, really. It's a long competition because there's so many divisions. There's 11 divisions. They got 6 for the women, 5 for the men. Yeah. So they got to put all that into 2 days. So it's, it's a long show, particularly Friday night, but Saturday was a great, finals event. And, it was really exciting. Really, a lot of new champions. There was I think 3 different divisions where a former winner came back and won again. And, of course, Derek did that too.
Yeah.
And this was only the second time in Mr. Olympia history that was ever done before. First time was Jay, of course, in 2009. I didn't know if that was ever going to happen again. But Derek, man, some people thought he should have won. Some people didn't. But what an impressive champion. I mean, I was very inspired by him because, think about it. At the beginning of the year, he said, I'm going to do a three-peat. I'm going to do the Triple Crown. I'm going to do the Arnold. I'm going to do the first Pittsburgh Pro, and then I'm going to win the Olympia. And he did it. And a lot of people didn't believe him. We didn't pick him to win. A lot of people didn't pick him to win. I didn't think he was going to be able to peak 3 times in 1 year. So for him to do that, it was very, very inspirational. It really was.
Yeah. And would you say he got better, right? I mean, after the three-peat, speaking to the universe, it looked like he got better.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the most ripped at the Arnold.
Yeah.
Not quite on shape for the Pittsburgh, but he did it right at this show because he came in big and full, and he didn't do that last year, and he dropped down to 3rd. He didn't lose his legs. He had big legs. In fact, he beat Hadi in the legs. And, when it came down to it, everybody was a little bit off, and he was right on, and he was thick, and he was full, and he wasn't the most conditioned guy in the show, but it was enough to win. So his strategy, or Chris Aceto's strategy, or whoever it was right on the money.
Yeah. And speaking of, the champions, Samir, I want to ask you a question because you were able to see the new tech. They have a new gym out there, and they have all the Olympians on the wall. So I know that was probably a highlight for you. So go ahead and talk on that, man. How was that experience, the Olympia weekend, and just seeing the new and improved things that they have to offer?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to miss Olympia, but I almost did this time. Unfortunately, one of my client, his name's Julian Ariolo, and Julian was training very hard, prepping for that show. And really, I want to go to the Olympia, whether Julian is competing or not. But unfortunately, this time we went to go and competing and enjoy the Olympia as usual because I never missed it. All these years since I won it in A3, I only missed it two times. One time, I didn't go to Belgium. It was in Belgium one time. And then I didn't go during the COVID to Florida. Was it in Orlando, right, John?
Yeah.
So that's the only time I missed the Olympia. I like to watch it. I mean, I still love the sport. I'm passionate. But when I judge fairly. I always tell people it don't matter who's on stage. I'm going to be fair.
Yeah.
Sometimes the truth hurt, but it's tell the truth every time. Yeah. Marcus, the Olympia was great. I think Jake Wood always doing really, really good. I just love this man, the way he put so much effort with Mr. Solomon. They're a very good team. They really make it a good event. And I'm sure the MPC Pro League, do a wonderful job every time. And, some people say, oh, this guys, they did help this guy. Or no, they did. No, none of these competition is rigged. Let me just tell you, none of these competition, ever since this competition went to, MPC Pro League with Jim Manion and all the staff and all the judges, the competition been straightforward.
Yeah.
You're going to have some people say, oh, he should have won. I will tell you from my perspective, and I will consider myself a good judge after 50 plus years in this game. Yeah, it was good experience, Marcus. We loved it. Yeah, and then also while I was there, I got to visit a new tech gym. It's a really great gym, great equipment, good atmosphere. But the only thing that really hurt that this time I was in such a good mode. I want to see Julian. He was entering the amateur Olympia, and really we did a good prep. This guy have a great future.
Yeah, he looked good.
What do you want to do?
He looked good.
He looked really good. He was about to peak. Unfortunately, what happened, that's not Julian, but anyway.
Well, that's I saw that. Did you climb up there and sign that? I saw that they had pictures of all the Olympians, and they got the Samir Bannout.
Oh, yeah. This a friend of ours from Korea, and I met him there. He's have the Korea magazine, a wonderful gentleman. We were just taking photo, and we spent like an hour and a half or so just chatting and stuff. But yeah, just to make the story short, I didn't say that Julian got sick nearly 10 days before, and he wouldn't even tell me he got sick because he's a warrior. He wants to fight it. But you know what? He wouldn't say to me, I'm sick. He said, I woke up, I was sweating. It's maybe because of the supplement he was taking. You know what I'm talking about, the hardcore supplement. But it wasn't. It was something heavy. Could be as heavy as, honestly, as maybe COVID. I don't know. We didn't test for it. We tried everything in the book to help to bring Julian back. But unfortunately, his body wasn't responsive. We even tried to load him. And he's very, very depleted. We went to the point where I tell you his waist was 28 inches. Wow. But anyway, things happen, you know. And I was laughing about it. I said, next time you go to the gym, you put a bottle of Lysol, like Gary Shredham used to do, you don't get sick.
Well, I mean, clearly that's what John did. Yeah. John's over here. He got that bulletproof immune system.
Yeah. Thank God John was around me, and he's got a strong immune system. Unfortunately, his sweet girlfriend, Stephanie, didn't really get us lucky. But anyway, yeah. Well, but anyway, it was a fun weekend. Yeah. Really, you should have been there. And you, with Scott, and behind the walls, behind the scene, you guys should have really go and check it out. It's fun.
Yeah, one thing I liked was the fact that they did like the blackout for the first time. So how do you feel about the production level and all that this time? Because I really enjoyed the fact that for the men's open, they did the blackout and they turned off the screens behind them and all that.
Yeah, that made a big difference.
Yeah. I feel like shout out to the shows that are actually doing that. Like I know like Detroit Pro, they just did a straight up like theater curtain and all that, which is really cool. So I like that Olympia production is actually, taking heed to what the fans and what the spectators are saying and, doing it justice.
I think we're moving to another hotel next year, right, John?
Yeah, they're not going to have it at Resorts World.
You know which one yet or not?
No, not yet. They're going to announce it pretty soon.
God, imagine if they at one point had it in the Sphere. I would love. I mean, that would be just. I know it'd be like far fetched.
They need a larger auditorium because really the Olympia is starting out. I mean, you got people coming from all over the world.
Yeah.
People coming in from all over the world. I mean, nobody wants to miss the Olympia, and so it's wonderful. I hear the price is going to go up a little bit, right, John?
Oh, really? More?
Even more.
I heard it's going to go up to $750,000 for first place. Is that true?
Oh, the prize money. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I imagine, especially with the whole Arnold and them going back and forth, which, I mean, I'm a fan of that. Give back to the bodybuilders, get back to the, the athletes. So we'll see who makes it to $1 million first. Yeah. Who do you think is going to make it to $1 million first? That's
Well, the production, the organization, everything was done. Like I said, Jake and Don Solomon, and they did a great job in handling everything. And we talked to both of them. Yeah. But anyway, to get back to the Olympia, it was a very competitive, man. It was like major race.
Yeah.
And you can ask any question. And
I got a question. So when it comes to the first call out, right? How do you feel like did they get it right? And what would you change as far as that first call out? So maybe like that top 6, would you put anybody in there? How they do judges if you were on the judging panel?
Let's go, John.
Yeah, you can go first, John.
I don't think so. I mean, I think it was the top. I think those were the right guys. Nick got 6th place, and he faded pretty quick. When he first came out, he looked good, and then after that, he faded pretty quick. His stomach was a big problem. He just came in too heavy. I actually thought Brandon Curry, who was 7th, I thought he could have beat him. And maybe Tonio also could have beat him,
Wow.
So, but I was really impressed with Brandon Curry. I mean, for a guy who won the Olympia 6 years ago, he's in his 40s, and a lot of people said, this guy's done. A lot of people didn't have him in the top 10 at all. I mean, he's still got the great genetics, He's still got the wide shoulders, the small waist. His legs didn't look small. He's still holding on to his muscles, so he was very impressive.
So if you run a judging panel, you might flip-flop Nick a little bit because Brandon came, so impressive.
Well, Nick looked good when he first came out, like I said, but just kind of faded, and then it just seemed like they were moving him down. When they called him out in the second call out, they were moving him off to the side. They didn't have him in the middle. So I actually thought he was going to drop down below 6th, but he did, and he ended up in 6th.
Yeah. What about you, Samir? How do you feel about the top 6 first call out? Would you change anything?
Well, it was a good first call out. Was correct, of course. I mean, it's no brainer. We know these top 6 guys. The thing about Nick Walker, man. Honestly, when he first walked out, when he walked out, I was impressed with tons of muscle. But I really, in the very beginning, I did not see the middle. Evidently, his coach was claiming that he was more inflamed. We've been talking about Nick Walker for quite some time, and we always think his biggest issue here is the middle, and we saw that he improved in that area. But whatever it is, according to his coach, it was more inflamed this time.
Okay.
I mean, look, if you look at Nick, he's got the best shoulders, the best arm, the most massive guy. But, it's not that simple. The more wasted, the better it is. And I really saw changes in his midsection prior to the show, like probably a month before the show. I was commenting. But somehow, things backfired a little bit. Whatever the issue, I don't know exactly. But his middle really was not his best friend. So, but looking at the competition altogether, it was very impressive. I mean, the body changes like from 1 hour to another, from one day to another. First call out, I look at Hardy, for example. In the very beginning, I wasn't 100% impressed because I know the old Hardy. Talking about Derek. Derek, when he walked out, I was impressed. But somehow, whatever it is, first of all, let me say congratulations to Derek. Derek is a great champion. I love his body. I've always said it, and every time we try to, take whatever, guessing who's the top 6 or 10. I think you won this time, Marcus, right?
Beginner's luck. I know. I didn't know if I was going to bring it up or not, but I mean.
No, you can bring it up. But honestly, you know what? Nobody is a Houdini. We don't know exactly what's going to happen.
This show entails that perfectly because everything was shaken up. It was a clusterfuck up there when it comes to actually where people place compared. Who would have thought Samson in 4th?
Let me just say this. When Derek is 100% rock hard, guess what? He's literally unbeatable.
Yeah, you've been saying that all year too. You have.
Yeah, and I mean it because I know when Derek is rock hard, he'll be untouchable. Okay, Now in the evening, and I could tell you, I sincerely mean that, Hardy should have won the night show.
The second night, okay.
Hardy was really shredded, and I'm sitting in this second row. And he was right above me, and I could see both of them. I see the quality, the striation in Hardy's chest and abs. Some people told me, they think Hardy got hurt doing lunges with 225 pounds. But I asked his coach. I don't think Hani Rambo is coaching, but he was training at Hani's gym. Of course, he was still getting advice.
Yeah.
But according to Hani, nothing was wrong with his legs. But somehow I noticed at his leg size, and Tyler Mannion mentioned that. The legs are slightly less than the usual mass that we know. Right, John?
Right.
And it doesn't help that
so I thought,
Derek came so improved.
Well, Hardy did win Saturday night. He won by 1 point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he should have. I mean, well, that tells you the system is not rigged.
Yeah.
And they went by the prejudging, maybe because Derek was looking really good in the prejudging.
Yeah.
He kind of faded. He didn't look as good on day 2. He didn't. And really, Hadi came in much sharper. And if that was the prejudging, I think Hadi would have won the Mr. Olympia.
You know what's
I'm being honest.
You know what's interesting is the fact that on night one it was clearly Derek was the winner. I think we all can attest and agree to that. And then night two, they only had a 7-8 score compared to night one, which was a 6-9 in favor of Derek. And I'm curious if I'm shocked that, because to me, Hadi looked much more impressive night two. So I'm curious if it was a tie.
He did.
Like a tie, meaning 6-9, 6-9 both ways, night one compared to night two. And then when they brought them back out again, remember they judged them again. So I'm very curious if it was a tie and then what changed.
Let me just tell you how I feel myself about bodybuilding after all these years. Mm-hmm. I would consider this like running a marathon. You could be in 20th place in the beginning. Who crossed the line at the end wins.
Yeah. Right.
And I think, honestly, based on what I saw that night, it would be fair. Probably, I have the nod for Hadi. Hadi looks fantastic that night. But I guess maybe he was losing by more point in the AM or the day before. So therefore, let's not bullshit ourselves. Derek has got a great body. He's massive. Yeah. He's got he's symmetrical.
So what was it? It was 6-9 on Friday?
Yeah, on Friday it was 6-9, and then in favor of Derek.
3 points, and then there was a 1 point difference on Saturday, so he beat him by 2 points.
Yeah. So, I think Tyler Mannion in his assessment, I saw the video pretty quick, and he analyzed it and tell people exactly what he thought. I'm not 100% on the same page with Tyler, but he's correct though. He's correct by saying that, yes, Derek looked better in the AM, which is I agree with, but a hair better, not much better, but maybe a point ahead.
Well, so Samir,
if I was judging, that's what I would do.
So Samir, you kind of already answered this, and that was like my next question. So I guess I'll kind of take over to John because you kind of answered. So my question was, between night one and night two, what do you think is most important? You kind of said night two, Hadi took it, so he should have, been the champion, or you would have given the nod to Hadi. So how do you guys feel about the difference between night one and night two? Do you think night two should have more merit behind it, or how do you judge that? Do you think it's more important for your, that initial look?
No, they judge it. They judge it equally. They look at both scores, so they judge it equally. So
yeah,
it's always been like that, John. It's always been like that, John.
Yeah,
it's always been like that. If you win the prejudging
at the finals on Saturdays, they do their posing routine.
So do you think if it was a tie, night one and night two, would they just keep posing till somebody fades, or is it simply you give the nod to the person who impressed you first, or the person who's winning on night two?
They'd have to do a tiebreaker on night two if it was tied.
What were we gonna say, Samir?
I would really judge it the same way on next day two. Because like I said, I compare that to a marathon, who crossed the line first. So I feel he was clearly, in fact, I don't want to mention name, a major official in the competition, a major official. He came and told me in my face, said, Samir, he felt Hadi should have won. And he's really from the heart of the game. I don't want to say anything here because for me, I'm just saying that, Derek, I like his body and I'm really happy he won. But if you would have put it as a tie, it would be more better, but you can't put a tie. Maybe you should have taken the $600 check and split it in half.
I bet that would
I thought the difference was that I thought Hadi was a little flat on Friday. I thought he filled out a little bit on Saturday, but he was more conditioned on both days. But he did have the leg imbalance also. And, Derek had the bigger legs this year. His legs didn't fade like they did last year. Last year, his legs got flat. And he didn't have that this year, so he beat Hadi in the leg department, And then I thought Hadi was just a little flat. Like I noticed, like his chest, you know how he's like so grainy hard and stuff, and he's freaky looking when he hits those most muscular shots. I didn't really see that on Friday. I saw it on Saturday, but I didn't see it on Friday. It'd be interesting if they did the show in one day. If they did like a 12 o'clock prejudging and then like a 7 or 8 o'clock night show,
that would be better. That would be better.
Yeah,
that would be.
Because this happens every year where the condition changes so much up and down with all these guys because you got a full day and you can do a lot. Like Andrew Jack got way better on Saturday night. He was a little bit flat.
Yeah.
He was lean. He was cut. He looked really good on Friday, but Saturday he filled out. And when you're lean like that, right, Samir? When you're super lean like that, you fill out. You can eat a lot. And you're not going to get fat in one day. And he just look freakier.
Well, that kind of brings me to my next question is, and Samir, I'll ask you, who were you most impressed with?
Let me tell you something about Andrew before we go into this. Andrew looked great in day one, but we all talked, and Chris Aceto was standing with me. You know, they filled him up a little bit more. Sometimes loading is very important. You don't want to be underloaded or way overloaded. But the thing is, he came back, he was a different day on day two. And honestly, I'd probably give him second place. You know, Andrew Jack was good enough to be in second place. Yeah. Okay. Why? Because he was even harder. He was harder than Derek. Let's be honest.
Like that right there with the Lakers shirt on doing a LeBron. You saw him? You saw when he walked out doing a LeBron little emote.
you know, honestly, nobody came in 100% perfect. Some people messed up on day one, they fix it up on day two, and vice versa. So, you know, it's like a tough sport, man. And that's why I'm thinking, John, maybe you should do it AM and finish it in the PM in the same day.
Yeah.
Because it's really confusing to the average Joe. They don't understand loading, not loading. They don't understand like we do. Not that everybody, only bodybuilder champion that been there, done that, understand the loading and what happened, what have you, to change the body quickly overnight.
Plus, they wouldn't have to do the prejudging Friday night with all those other shows. You know, there's like 6 other contests.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to do the men's prejudging on Friday. It's way too much. It's way too much for one night.
It is. You're right, John. Back in the day, it wasn't nothing like that. Right now, there's so much stuff involved, and they have to, you know, balance it the way they did. And, you know, it's a tough job for the judges, for the promoter. Yeah, you got, I don't know how many contestants. I don't know, maybe about 1,000 contestants in all the category, right, John? Probably close.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, you gotta have a real passion for it to keep that energy up throughout every competitor and give them their just due. I mean, I can only imagine. You really have to be passionate.
Yeah. Plus, if they did it on a separate day, you could take longer with the prejudging. You could take your time. You could go 2 hours with the prejudging. You know, they could call out comparison after comparison.
Yeah, I feel like that's.
Yeah, but you know what really shocked me? Look at this guy. This is something. Look, I picked Samson to win the show, and I think John did too.
I think we all did.
We did. But you know what? Nobody can really predict 100%. Look, that Samson capable? Look at Samson today. I just saw him loaded up. He looked like the winner today, but it was a little bit too late. See, this is the thing. I mean, he worked really hard with his wife, and they really focused. They want to come in lighter and more ripped, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. You got to come in full 100%.
So do you think he lost muscle, Samir? Do you think he lost muscle, or do you think
he was lacking some excessive glycogen, John, in my opinion. I know it happened to me. I commented on Samson, one of the posts he had. He said that he didn't load in time. He could have done another day of loading.
That makes sense.
So they didn't really. Yeah, I just said that. I said, you know what, Samson, it happened to me in 1988. I was really in my best shape probably ever. And then I went down to try to go back up. I couldn't go back up. I gained like 2-3 pounds. I needed to be up at least 5 more pounds. And you know what? 10 days later, I swear, I was beyond ready. But that was too late. So that's what happened to Samson. I think he could have been.
I was really surprised with his legs, how much his legs came down. And, you know, he was a monster last year. And,
depleted, John.
I mean, when you look at these pictures here, you can see he's dramatically downsized.
Like I think even Andrew Jack kind of outsized him in the leg department, honestly, or it was close enough to where you know it was a major difference. So I kind of want to ask, if you were Samson Dauda, what would you do moving forward? How would you take it? What would be your next steps?
Well, he's got to go back to what won him the contest in the first place. He's got to get that size. He just has to learn how to peak and just not come in so smooth on Friday like he usually does.
I tell you one thing, if he compete like in Prague, there's a show in Prague in about 7 or 8 days, somewhere around that. He'll go there and load up properly. It'll be a walk in the park for him. I'm telling you, he's that good. Samson is extremely good. It's just that only God is perfect. We all learn as we go. And he's young, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come back with vengeance. He'll be better than ever again. So, you know, the next year, Mr. Olympia is going to be even crazy.
If you were him, is that what you would do? Would you kind of just go put your number back in the race, go to Prague, and just kind of beat everybody's butt?
I would load. People think if you load for 5 or 6 days, you're gonna get fat. You can't get fat when you load. No. You just have to do it right. You have to understand the glycemic index. You have to understand electrolyte management and all these things. It's doable. I think he can put on 10 pounds of pure glycogen or reserve, more fluid in the cell, and he's gonna look better and probably bigger than he was the year before. But he was too depleted, in my honest opinion. Yeah. That was 60% of Samson who we saw that day. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, John? I'm thinking that he was not like near 75, 80%. What do you think?
To me, I don't know. He looked like he lost muscle. I think it was more than just glycogen depletion. I just thought, his legs were down, his back was down. His back was always, one of his weak points. So
you'll be surprised.
I think he just went too far with it. And I mean, he guest posed 6 weeks ago and he looked smaller. And I thought he was going to fill out from there. But, he was even smaller. So,
John, if you look at his post today, and I commented, today he looked like better than better than when he won it. I'm serious. Go and check it out. So it's really, you cannot regain muscle in such a short period. It's mostly reserve. He regained his reserve, and then, I think that was the problem at Samson.
What's going on, Steph?
Oh. Hey, Samir.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? How you feeling?
For those of you who don't know, that is the woman who
you don't look have anything wrong with you. You look great.
Thank you, Samir.
Yeah, I went to the gym anyway. Yeah, she's fine. She's not bad, I mean, I don't know what happened to me, man. I'm like, kill you, Julian.
Well, I know that Fouad keeps on talking about a video from about 3 weeks out from Samson that he really wants to show the public because it was one of the best Samsons he's ever seen. So I do think that it may be a situation where maybe he got down too low. I don't know, if it's he lost muscle or simply he just got down so low and he didn't fill up enough.
Well, look at that. They didn't lose muscle. Look at that. When was that taken? Probably yesterday. Look at how full. He looked huge. He looked hard. He looked like a different person. Why? Because when you regain your glycogen properly, the muscle is going to be fuller. Like we said, each gram of carbs taking like over 3 grams of water, and they are stored in the muscle. Your body is 80% water. So you regain that fluid in the cell. And look at that. He looks like
when was this video taken?
It looks like it was uploaded a couple hours ago, 7 hours ago. So I don't know when exactly it was taken, but it could have been something after post Olympia.
Yeah, it's got to be yesterday. There's no way it's got to be 3 days later. There's no way he's gonna look like that the day before after. He's gonna look. It's gonna take him 3 days to look this great. Look at this. Yeah. I mean, he looked harder. He actually looked more ripped than
look
before.
At the back. The back looks really impressive. Like this is, to me,
look at the glutes.
He was one of the worst backs, and this is up there.
Look at the glute. Look at the cuts in his hamstring, the side. I mean, really, he looked like Samson today, and he looked like this is the guy that should have been showed up last weekend. This is the guy that should have been on the stage, and guess what? My prediction would have come true. Yeah. Would have came true.
He kind of reminds me of one of those people who he will just, he might show up at, I don't know what his next show is going to be, but I kind of agree if that's the case, and it was just simply not enough time to fill out, and this is a telltale. Maybe, go get on that Prague stage and, just show them what you really got.
Yeah.
He's a warrior. Yeah. He trained really hard.
That would be a smart idea.
I saw the way he trained.
That would be a smart idea.
You know what they say? Listen, Marcus, we say you can't flex fat and you can't flex flat. When you flat, it happened to me a few times before. Like I'm on the stage, I'm flexing my legs hard. And it's easy. I have the control flex. And people would tell me, at the Mr. International, let's say back in the days, Samir, flex your legs, but I'm killing flexing my legs. I'm good at flexing. And you know what? You just cannot flex flat. You can't.
Yeah.
So you can't pop. So if you don't have your full reserve, or at least 90% of your reserve, you will look like you have fat on you. Okay? You look flat. So this is exactly what happened. And he was not full enough. Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, all the experts will tell you the same thing. I consider myself fully aware because it happened to me many times, not once.
Well, moving away from obviously the top four, which I think we all kind of, thought very highly of that. It can be shaken up either which way, night 1 to night 2. But, I wanted to talk about somebody in the Martin. I wanted to know what you guys felt about Martin, because he was somebody, when I first saw him walk out, I was very impressed. I was very impressed with Hadi and Martin at first sight. But Martin, I feel like, deserves that spotlight. So, John, take it away, man. How do you feel about Martin this year?
He was really good. He was great last year when he got 4th, which I think was probably his best ever. And then, he was off in Prague. He was off at the Pittsburgh. But he went down, he went down for more conditioning, which was a smart move.
Yeah.
He's got great legs. Samir, we were standing there by the elevator, right, when he showed us his legs.
That's a cool moment right there. He was ready. And let me ask you something. What do you think about his legs, size-wise? Let's say, Marcus, what do you think of his legs?
I think his legs, especially from the front, are probably some of my favorite legs on the Olympia stage. I love this.
Okay, well, let me just tell you this. Marcus, Martin and I were talking yesterday. And he informed me one of the main judges in the competition told him that his legs weren't big enough.
Wow.
I disagree, because he looked symmetrical. His legs look marble hard. He was hard. And look at that glute, hamstring. He did a good job. I think he looked better. He looked better this year than he did last year when he came in 4th. He did. Yeah. And if you would have gave him 4th place, Marcus, it would have been acceptable for me. 4th. Why? Because, listen, Samson was not the Samson that we know. Yeah. He wasn't 100%. So, and Martin was 100%.
See, this is interesting for me because, and you can see he definitely put on some size. So this right here, Scott, you can go through these. This is last year compared to this year's Olympia, and the left is last year, to the right is this year. So how do you feel looking at these? How do you feel about
them? We talked all the time. Martin and I talk all the time, and like in his head, he want to maintain that beautiful looking physique. We actually said it. We don't want to blow up and look like a potato. Like, we want to gain, take our time, and look beautiful, symmetrical. And as you can see, look at that.
I'm so impressed with
his abs are shown. Yeah, and his waist is stay tight and small. Even if you have cross cut, he's got the idea in his head. He's not looking on getting huge in 2 days and ruin it later.
Was that last year?
Yeah.
In a nice way.
And it's like a couple of shots.
So he's going to go face off with Keon in a few days, probably 1 week from now.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting.
So it's going to be crazy competition, because I like both of them. And it's funny? They were trainer partner. I wanted always. Right, John?
Oh, they were? I didn't know that.
They got a couple of videos
they
together,
used to train together.
Maybe through GASP or something like that,
they trained together a couple of years ago. They were training together. I'm not sure what was it, New York or anywhere, but they were like trainer partner. And can you imagine? And you know what he told me? He said, Martin says, I love Keon, and I want to really be more prepared. And you know what? I'm going to get him. But, it's not walk in the park for either one of them, because they're both wonderful. They both have the body. And I'm like, I tell you, Keon, which also I want to congratulate him for winning. He's one of my favorites as well.
Oh yeah,
he's missing.
Yeah. He looked great at the Olympia. This is a little off topic, I guess, for what we want to get right back to the Olympia after this. But how out of those two gentlemen right there, real quick, Martin versus Keon. If you had who do you think is gonna maybe be the champion? I know we hate predictions, but who do you think might be able to get the edge?
Well, let's put it this way. Martin told me that he weighed 233 pounds. And I know Keon had to make weight when it down to under 212.
Yeah, right at the mark, 211.9.
So Keon probably may load up a little bit more. He might be ended up a little bit fuller yet.
Yeah.
But wasn't Keon a little bit off this year at the 212?
I think that's kind of
the fault. He peaked a little bit.
Yeah.
He didn't peak properly. I think, the weight things always messes things up for everybody. You have to make weight, so he dropped to under 212. And I think when you do that, sometimes there's a chances of flattening out a little bit, John. I
don't know. I think last year he was like 204, and this year he was 209. So he was like 5 or 6 pounds heavier this year.
211.
Yeah, this year 211.9.
Yeah,
I think he said he's put on
It was
211.9, right?
Yeah, he's up 11 pounds.
Whatever he was last year, he gained like about, I think, at least 6 pounds because he was way under the limit last year. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think he needs to go up even more if Sean Clarida gave him a run for his money because Sean was harder. You know what I mean?
So you think maybe for the Prague show, he should probably come in a little bit, more short, a little bit
come in a little tighter. Yeah, I mean, it's all illusion anyways. It's going to look
Clarida
harder.
looks good. I mean, I didn't really see the show because I wasn't feeling. Yeah, I think Clarida looks really full, and he popped much more.
Yeah.
Again, when you talk about Keon's also, that body is amazing. I mean, Keon has to be completely off to lose a contest. He doesn't even have to be 100% because he's got an extremely beautiful body, shoulders to waist ratio, separation.
I think what Clarida did was he came in, I don't know if he came in lighter, but he definitely improved his shape. He's kind of like straight up and down just because of his shoulder structure. But man, that front double bicep, his shape improved big time. Yeah, look at that.
It's very impressive.
I've never seen him look like that before.
Yeah. It's something to be said for his
lats popping way out.
That's one of the biggest things I noticed was the lats. Kind of like
I mean, look at the lat. If you look at the lat spread, even though Clarida is more popping, but look at the shape on Keon. Yeah. The Keon shape is amazing. Look at the shoulders width to the waist. The rib cage is just right. Go to the next pictures, which is, I mean, look at that double biceps, that rib cage. They both look great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's if you go who's popping more, I would say Clarida was popping more looking at the photo.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's very hard to overcome a body also like Keon. Keon's body is like literally, I mean, I really would bet on him that if he comes in with additional 10 pounds with that same quality or better quality than that, he'll be one of the toughest guys in the next Olympia for sure. I mean, what's the difference between...
my advice to him for the Prague would be maybe come down couple more pounds just to show more detail, more density. And I think that's how he's going to beat Martin. It doesn't really matter if Martin's 20 pounds heavier than him or not.
Yeah, I mean, with that shape.
What's gaining a couple more pounds for Keon going to do? I mean, he's only got a week or 2 weeks. He's not going to put on that much size. So I think he should go the other way, come in harder, and he's going to look bigger.
Yeah.
John,
I agree.
In most cases, people think, he needs to drop weight. In my opinion, I don't think that was the case. I think you need to readjust the peaking process. And if he was trying to make the weight, maybe he was slightly over 212 and he had to drop.
Yeah.
And that could make the scale tip to the negative side, and I mean, it's not always, let's be 212, under 212. And then you have to make drastic changes for your body. It is not good. It didn't happen in my days. I would compete at any weight, whether I'm 196, which is I was in 190, it was good. Probably if I competed at 190, probably I wouldn't look as good.
Yeah.
So if I probably was 198, I probably would have even looked better. So sometimes that little additional fullness, which is we just talked about in Samson's case, he went down in weight. It really backfired. Yeah. It really didn't happen. It's not like he wasn't ready. He did not fill up enough in a timely manner. He just didn't get there on time and didn't load. But is it fat? No. Is he beautiful to look at? Yes. But he wasn't popping this time. So
the one thing that Clarida mentioned was the fact that he's running his race. That's the one thing he was saying coming into the Olympia in his videos is I'm running my race. I'm not doing anything with other, I'm running my race. So I'm doing what fits me.
That's
what Clarida said. So, he knows he's a conditioning guy. I'm going to get that pop and do, showcase what I've done for last year.
The right thing.
So, kind of.
By the way, I think Clarida is bigger than usual.
Yeah.
Not lighter than
usual. He looked like he put on size.
Well, you see, but he was harder than before.
Yeah.
That's probably the best condition. And he was fuller. And he was popping.
He improved his shape.
I think his frame can handle that additional weight. He could go up and not be over the weight. But Keon probably was over that weight, and he had to drop out to get to the scale. And when you lose fluid from the cell, it's going to flatten you out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm telling you from experience, heavy experience.
So going down the line, someone we have not talked about yet. Obviously, we talked about Martin, 5th place, very impressive. Next up in 6th was Nick Walker. Nick Walker, somebody coming into this show who a lot of people and they're guessing had them going first place, second, definitely top 3. I think all of us had him at least top 4. He played 6th.
Yep.
So, how do you feel about Nick Walker for this show? Samir, go ahead and take it away, man.
Look, Nick, he's a warrior. He training hard. You could see that, and he's positive. But just imagine all the nonsense and all the bullshit that he have to put up with. If that will make you work out your adrenal, get like, sometimes you're emotional and feeling upset about something, it could really change your body chemistry. It messes you up. You got to be calm. You got to be collected. And I know he was, but it's easier for you and I to say it. But you know what? If you were in his shoes under all the pressure that he was put under, I think that's not fair. I mean, look, I know Bob Zuccarello said different thing. Maybe it's not in a derogatory way. I think Bob Zuccarello, he didn't mean to be rude, but in his place, he said, oh, he's not going to make the top 8, whatever. I personally wouldn't say it like that. I would give him a chance. But the way Nick showed up, according to his coach, that he have an inflamed middle, whatever it is, that he's sensitive to something where his stomach kind of hurt him, to be honest. But look at, I mean, nobody's going to beat this from the back. Nobody beat him. His back double biceps can beat anybody. I'm sorry, but yes, his middle did hurt.
And for those who don't know, Kyle Wilkes is his coach right now, and he hasn't worked with an Olympian. So this was like their second time working together and first ever Olympia show. So
I was sitting with John, and when he walked out in the beginning, I looked at John and said, wow, that's the best Nick ever. That's the only problem is some of poses. I did not really see his midsection properly in the very beginning, but there are some photos where the judges looked at him in a different spot. That hurts him, man. Unfortunately, I hope he can resolve that. If he resolved that, man, oh my God. If he can get that midsection a little bit smaller, he'll be like bad to deal with.
I definitely wouldn't count him out. I was very, very impressed with the hamstrings. The overall width and size of that back leg right there, that hamstring and that back double was very impressive. One of the most impressive things for me, aside from the size that Derek put on.
That muscle density, that fullness, that size is unbelievable. Again, if the middle is not an intact, it's right there, it's not going to be the same result, no matter who you are. I don't care if you're Arnold, Sergio, Samir. If we're not tight in that area, if you have bloated tummy due to whatever inflammation or whatever issue or something you eat may cause that to happen, hopefully that will be corrected in the future. I mean, he's not going to be gone. He's going to come back. He's going to try everything in the book to resolve that issue.
Yeah, I mean, definitely would not count him out. I'm well versed. I'm a fan of Nick's physique. Obviously, there's ways of improving. I think I saw a glimpse of that at Pittsburgh. We all did. But, I do think, it would be dumb to count him out. But obviously, John, I want to get your opinion on, Nick Walker, 6th place. How do you feel about his body coming out and just everything?
I just think he came in too heavy. I don't know what he weighed at Pittsburgh or New York, but I think his game plan was just come in freaky and big.
Yeah.
And he was posting those pictures on social media, and people were just like freaking out, like, oh my God, look at this guy. He's unbelievable. And he was like 285 hard.
Yeah.
But you don't look on stage like you do with the pictures. And usually when it comes to competition, conditioning is king. You got to go a little bit lighter instead of a little bit heavier. And he had that stomach issue in Pittsburgh when he was like close between him and Derek. And that's why I thought Derek beat him. I thought Derek was the rightful winner in that because of the stomach issue, even though Nick maybe won a couple poses like from the back or whatever. But I just think, he just came in too heavy. He needs to come in lighter. He doesn't have the most aesthetic physique. He's got short legs. He's got a long torso, which is what he's always had, of course. But when he was winning the Arnold, like in 2021, and when he placed top 3 at the Olympia in 2022, he was more streamlined. He came in harder, and he has got those thick abs. And when he does this ab shot or does a front double by, he crunches down on the abs, and it wasn't taking away from his physique because it enhanced his physique. And it really you didn't notice the short legs, long torso as much when he did that. So it was a real smart move what he did back then. But just putting on more size is just making the stomach problem worse. And I know he's got some unbelievable muscle mass. He's probably the biggest dude up there. But you got to have the stomach in, man. If you don't, you're going to get beat by a lot of guys.
To be honest with you, Jean, I have no issue complaining about his overall quality, his shoulders. I thought he was more than cut enough in these area. It's that middle that would really hurt him. To be honest with you, it's the middle. Yeah, I mean, you look everywhere. Glute is tight. Look at, he's got cut in his glute, his hamstring, arm, shoulders is incredible. The middle is what really hurt Nick. Unfortunately.
See, Marcus, for people who say, you don't have to be there, you can watch it on pay-per-view. Look at on the left, that's pay-per-view. That's the video stream, and look at on the right, that's real. That's the real deal.
And where I'm sitting right to the middle where I can't see that area either. So, but somehow some of the judges could see that and it did affect him. But his muscle quality,
he was having a hard time holding it even from the front. It wasn't just from the back. He was having a hard time holding it from the front.
Yeah, because a lot of people would argue it's, what the judges are seeing is what's important. So as long as when he's doing his transitions, if he can keep it tight, then hey, great, because we're just seeing what the judges see from that perspective. But I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know how, if he's letting it go, things like that. But one thing I want to say is, how do you feel as far as go ahead, Samir, you about to say something?
I don't know. I mean, some of these issues sometimes it's not easily reversible, and there has to be a way, whether it's medically done. It's when you have that extreme inflammation in that area, come on, it's not. I don't want to say it's his fault, but that happened to Nick early on. Remember, like 5 years ago, and Nick was more pro freakness, and we started him getting better, trimming. But somehow he's sensitive in that area, whatever it is just backfiring, and it's not resolved 100%. You need to resolve that issue.
So that would, if you had to give him any advice to Samir, would that be it? Just kind of work on that part moving forward? I mean, he has a lot of other attributes.
Some people say it's visceral fat. Visceral fat, it kind of like, you don't have any fat here, but you have internal fat that pushes the stomach out. I mean, I heard of, I don't want to say it like I'm not a doctor, but I heard there's a way to actually laser this fat, but it's dangerous to be done surgically, because if you touch the nerve in the area, you're going to probably mess up you cannot even flex your abdominal. So when you have a huge amount of, if you have a huge amount of visceral fat, it pushes the stomach out. So, you don't have any fat, no fat on your body, but internally there could be, from my perspective, I think it's visceral fat that's the issue here. Maybe plus whatever inflammation, I don't know, that need to be looked at carefully, and it can be probably done surgically.
And as far as
it's not easy to deal with.
And as far as advice, John, you kind of the same thing what you echoed earlier. As far as for Nick moving forward, just kind of really handle that, since it's like I guess a sore spot for a lot of people.
Yeah, I would try to go back to what he looked like in 2021, 2022. I think he won the Arnold in 2021. That was the year it was held later in the year, like September. I think it was a couple of weeks before the Olympia. I thought that was his best look ever. So, I don't know. That's 5 years ago. I don't know if you can go back and replicate what you looked like 5 years ago. Time moves on. The physique changes. But if he could, he needs to go more towards that. Yeah. He needs to stay more streamlined and not just go for mass.
John, you've been in this game long enough. You think this issue is reversible through just diet?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I really feel that there is something that needs to be looked at. If we say like Nick Walker didn't try, I think that he tried like a madman. He's training hard, but sometimes something is not in total control. I mean, him and his coach, supposedly have a great coach, and I'm sure he does. But if that inflammation continued to haunt him, we'll do whatever it takes to find out the real cause for that problem and resolve it. Yeah. He's young, man. He could fix it.
It's crazy because so many people have different opinions on Nick, and I think that's what makes him so, just such a spectacle when it comes to this sport. Because when I hear you guys, I do like the newfound size in certain areas, right? So when I look at the hamstring, when I look at that leg, and I think that's, when you look at the first, the Olympia, winner, shout out to Derek, one thing that I noticed with him is that fullness in his legs. So I think that's helped him. Obviously, Nick is somebody who's walking that tightrope to where, putting on size might be, a negative for him, but realistically, no, because when I look at it, his back has improved. One of my favorite packages, aside from like say New York Pro 2021 for Nick, was the Pittsburgh Pro. I was really impressed with that look. So it's just interesting. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the people watching, they're going to hear this, and we're going to be on different sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting because he is one of those people who are, if you're either a big fan of his body, or obviously if you had an eye like these two, you can look at it with a fine tooth comb and really try to pick it apart, and what the judges are going to like out of it and things of that nature. So like it's just it's interesting, to me personally, it is, because everybody picks it apart, and I get it.
I take no for an answer. If I was in Nick's shoes, I would find out exactly what causes the problem. I'm sure he's trying. There should be a solution. There should be. He's young, and look at all this muscle, all the hard work. If this is the nightmare of why Nick Walker is not getting what he could get, I mean, it's shame. I mean, it's really shame. It's sad.
Yeah.
But in most cases, some of those guys early on, they try to gain weight too quickly, and it pushes the rib cage out. When your rib cage bone go out, you stretch that rib cage. And this is what Martin and I were talking about, that he doesn't want to gain so fast, because really it's not always the size. I mean, look at Hadi. Hadi is probably maybe 60, 70 pounds lighter than Nick Walker, right?
Yeah.
So it's not always the size. He got a lot of size, and it's a good size everywhere. But we need to solve this.
Yeah.
And it can be, in my opinion, it can be resolved, but it has to be done medically.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, moving down the list, I mean, we've spent a lot of time on the top 6. Now, obviously, John already mentioned how impressed he was with Brandon Curry. A lot of people are writing off Brandon Curry. And, I mean, dang, did he not snap back at everybody and come looking at, to me, obviously, a lot of people talk about, 2019, 2021, but this is one of my favorite looks as far as having that fullness. Legs were crazy. So, I mean, Samir, take it away. How did you feel about Brandon Curry?
Well, first of all, Brandon have won the Miss Olympia before. So, he have the beautiful, he's got a good genetic, honestly. But that year he won, he was like right on the money. And I think he hasn't been back to that exact level since. A guy like Brandon, you can't put him out of the top 6, but again, even though we know he looks good and he does deserve better, I thought his condition when he won an 80, what year was it when he won, John?
2019.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you could see, it's that little bit blurry. Whatever it caused, he was a tad bit sharper when he won the Olympia,
Mm-hmm.
But didn't he get second in 2020 and 2021?
He came in second?
Whenever Big Ramy.
I thought he got second both years.
I think it's where Hadi had that one crazy night where he was like so off, and I think it was 2021 where he came back and he arguably could have won on night 2. I think he got
he's got a
You're right.
Brandon has beautiful symmetry. He's got beautiful body. I just would love to see him come in shredded. I mean, really onion skin. Like if you get that same quality, like say Hadi with what striated chest, good abs, deep. So but again, he looks pretty damn good. He deserves better.
He's got great genetics. He's got that great structure, small waist, wide shoulders. I remember seeing him in the Olympia years ago, like when he first started going to the Olympia, when he was much, much smaller, and he was placing like 12th, 13th. And I remember I was writing for Get Big, or no, bodybuilding.com. I was doing the Olympia wrap-ups for them. And I would look at him and I'd be like, man, this guy is great. He just needs more size. So he's still, even though he's older in his 40s, and he's definitely not at his prime now, but he's still got that same structure. He's still got that same body. He's still got those muscle bellies in the chest and the arms.
Yeah.
That's why he looks so good, and he can beat guys that are way younger than him that weren't even in the Olympia when he was competing.
Yeah. He definitely showcased that this year as well. Like a lot of people were, had him out of the top 10 and things like that. So
it still look great. It still look great.
Well,
I've seen him in better condition. I witnessed him in all the contests. I mean, he just needs to be more sliced and more get back to Brandon Curry again, 100%. But again,
when we did our predictions
over 40 right now.
I think when we did our predictions last week, I had him at 8th, and somebody commented and goes, he's done. He's not going to make the top 10. And I was like, oh man, maybe he's right. Maybe he is done. Here he is in like 7th place. And I thought he could have got 6th.
A lot of people, I think, looking at a lot of people feel that same way as you, that he could have easily been up there, a couple places up kind of thing. Because it was a very impressive branding,
You remember I was talking about Good Vito, remember when I was saying Good Vito, that he's really, really good. I mean, come on, one thing, he came out on stage not full of himself. Another person that I wanted to talk about that we didn't really say much, which is I put a note here. What's his name again?
Tonio, Vito.
No. My God, what's wrong with me?
Baru.
Not Andrew, not Martin.
Regan?
Oh my.
Regan Grimes, yeah.
No. Wait a minute.
Urs.
Who was it? I'm thinking. No.
Urs, Ruby L.
What's his name? Our friend.
Ruby L, Nexzilla.
Our friend from Iran. What's his name?
Barouge.
Oh,
Barouge. Yeah. I put a note. I don't know where it is. Yeah. Barouge, by the way, he missed his peak. I think he missed his peak.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever it is, I'm accustomed to see him full. Okay. I'm accustomed to see him looking really much more sharper. And I think he wasn't sure of himself on stage. And, I like point fingers at him, like keep your legs flexed. It's still like he need to be more exposed to the stage. And I see these guys in the background standing and they let it hang and they don't care. I mean, I'll tell most of the guys, in the background, you got to flex your abs and your stomach. I mean, your stomach and your legs at all the time. Even if the judge is not looking at you, you're not being compared. You should always look prepared. Whatever it is that I think he wasn't popping like he was. And, Barouge is one of the guys that I really like his body a lot. He just was not popping. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I mean, look at Andrew. Andrew is popping. Barouge is not. You remember Barouge used to have more shredded glutes and fuller. It's just, I don't know. He was not exactly what I expected. But again, he's young, and I think he will come back. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think he missed his peak. I wasn't.
Yeah, he only got here to this country like a week before, and I was listening to Jay Cutler's podcast with Milos, and Milos said he had like an ear infection or something, I think, or ear or eye. I think it was an ear, and because he said he was in the doctor on Monday. Wow. So he was probably suffering through that the whole weekend too. So I can see why he was off.
Yeah, with the traveling and all that, And,
yeah. And then you don't even know if you're going to make it. So he's got to go through his prep, diet, and train. And for the last 3 years, he's been denied the visa. So I probably thought the same thing was going to happen.
Yeah, mentally, he was probably put through a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I think Barouge was somewhat flat. Whatever he did, the final hours did not work for him.
If he was sick,
sometimes people try to dehydrate too much, and it does backfire. I know that for a fact. Yeah. So dehydration is not always going to work in your favor. So whatever the case, I just didn't think he was like the Barouge I expected. But we don't write him off. I think he's going to come back looking better than ever again.
Yeah.
I like his body, but I felt like, what the heck? I mean, Barouge is like top 6 material. I mean, it's just the body wasn't 100%.
A lot of people had him up there.
Yeah, good shape and really big arms too. I was really impressed.
Amazing.
Great timing too, by the way. So, John, what would you say to Barouge? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the performance? What was your takeaway for that?
He's young. That's his first Olympia, and he's probably was a little bit kind of, nervous.
All that
probably,
ear infection, like John was saying, traveling.
I don't know about how did you hear about the ear infection, John?
Milos mentioned it on Jay Cutler's podcast.
Yeah.
He said he was at the doctor on Monday, a couple of days ago.
Well, if you have local infection, it could affect him somewhat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but I feel like he was a little bit not popping. He was kind of flat.
Yeah.
Too.
One thing I noticed, a lot of people, they're making videos and, you know, they spend a lot of time, the negative, the disappointments and things like that. And this was a year where I think there was like, 9 first-time Olympians. So one question I really wanted to ask you guys is, for you, who is your breakout star when it comes to the, you know, those who are new to the stage? For me, it was Tonio. I really enjoyed seeing Tonio. So, but John, I would like to, you know, have you answer yours, man. What was yours? Who was your breakout star out of the new Olympians?
Well,
we had a lot. You know, we had Brett.
Ruby L was the freakiest. Seeing him in person, that was his legs are unbelievable.
What was it again, John? Who? What did you say?
Ruby L, Nexzilla, this gentleman on screen here.
God, his legs, you got to see him in person to believe.
Unbelievably. You know what's funny? He's probably one of the most conditioned guy. I love his muscle quality, but it's just like his physique is someone come from outer space. Someone that we haven't seen. I mean, the guy is beyond massive. His calf is bigger than some of the contestant legs.
His legs made everybody up there look small.
I mean, a nutty look. You're talking about guys like Tom Platz or whatever, and you know, we had somebody with big legs, but nothing compared to the size of, you know, he's like amazing, freaky.
Yeah.
But his condition, I have to give him credit. His condition is beautiful. He really got that onion skin, that roundness, but it's just the body doesn't really flow together. And this is what really hurt.
I wish Urs would have been in better condition. He was off from those other contests he did, which it's hard to hold your peak, you know. But I was looking forward to seeing his posing routine, but unfortunately, only a top 10 pose, so he didn't get to pose.
Yeah, he's
because I'm sure he would have been one of the best posing routines of the night for sure.
Yeah, so you would say Ruby L was probably your most impressive. Urs, you're talking about Urs.
Oh yeah.
Most impressive. I don't know. I mean, I guess Beirut probably would be the most impressive. I think Urs has great potential. Ruby L was the freakiest by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I felt like two people. One, Tonio, but another one. I mean, a lot of people expected it from Tonio. You know, people had. I mean, even you, John. Good shout out to you. You had him in your top 8. I mean, in your top 10. I think you had him in like 8th or 9th, and literally that's what he got.
8th, yeah.
And then
let me just tell you.
Go ahead, Samir.
Yeah, let me tell you, Tonio probably one of the most stripped guys on stage. He was. Yeah. His muscle conditioning was great, but I think he still lack a size in a competition like that.
Yeah, he is. Know, you could see.
I mean, I asked Chris Aceto, and Chris Aceto said that he was the most stripped in the entire contest. I don't know how you see that, John, but you can tell that he is pretty lean and, you know, tight. Look at the abs and, you know,
he's got that muscle density. He's really thick, but he's really hard. He's always hard.
It's very compact.
The thing that throws me off about him is his shoulder structure is so narrow. He can't do anything about that, of course. But
I mean, his calves could be improved. Yes, John. I totally agree with John. His chest could be fuller. His calves could be better. He needs more mass for a competition like that.
Yeah, he does. He needs be bigger.
He need to. Probably 10, 15 pounds. If you bring that with that quality, he will do better.
Yeah. Somebody else was Jordan Hutchinson. I feel like he was somebody who could have argued that he could have placed higher. You know, he was his first time Olympia, and he was just poised. Even the interviews leading up to it, very poised. Mm-hmm. Great physique, great legs.
Yeah, he's really complete. He just needs to come in hard like he did when he beat Quinton.
Yeah.
You know, if he's not hard, he doesn't look as good because his structure is not the best. I think he's kind of straight up and down. But he's a big guy. He's like, when you see him in person, he's bigger than you think.
Look,
He didn't peak as good, right, John? He missed his peak. No. Yeah. He was probably, really if Quinton was there, probably have a chance to beat him.
Oh yeah, I mean, he beat him. He got his number.
Back shots. He's just not hard enough.
Well, I mean, that the next up, obviously, the people we haven't spoken about. You know, save the best for last. No, I'm just joking. But two people we have not spoken about who were in the top 10 was who we see right now, Good Vito, and obviously William Bonac. I know Samir, me and you had some back and forth last podcast about the battle between William Bonac and Good Vito.
I won't change my mind about Big Vito. He's very good, but look at how he's standing.
Yeah.
Look at how he's standing. it's wrong. The way he show his body is wrong when he does kneeling shot. He's a young guy. He's got huge, unbelievable potential, and you could see that the guy is great,
Yeah.
but his positioning is terrible. He really hurt himself the way he posed. uh, some of those guys, they just like, you have an airplane, you don't know how to fly it. I don't understand this coaching. I mean, what kind of coaches that don't show you how to present that beautiful, complete body? They don't. I mean, look, he's not sure of himself when he poses. His posing is, honestly, to me, it's a horror. This is horror. I won't accept that. If I have a client, he posed like that on the Olympia stage, I don't accept that.
Yeah.
He need major coaching in the presentation for sure, and he could do a lot better than that.
Well, he was able to crack the top 10, so that's something that's good for him. Him and Bonac both. So, like, John, how did you feel about? Well, I guess we have Bonac on the screen now. So, how do you feel about Bonac? Or we can talk about the video.
Really good. Another great showing from him. I mean, he's still got that thickness, that heart, that density. Kind of wider waist, but was right up there with those guys, man. He kind of brought the same kind of conditioning all year.
How old is Bonac, by the way, John?
He's in his 40s too, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe like close to mid 40s, I think. Yeah. I think he's older than Brandon.
Is he really?
I think so, yeah.
He knows how to peak. He always show quality on stage. I really think,
and he's probably done wonderful. 5 or 6 shows this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot.
How could you do that, man? All these shows, and it's so hard on your body, and you still like come into a competition and not in bad condition. Very good, not bad at all.
Yeah,
but the competition is much more complicated nowadays. It's tougher, and so
yeah.
What he came in? What 10th? What place did he come in?
So those of you who don't know, me and Samir had some back and forth last week, or no, 2 weeks ago at this point, about the placing for like William and Good Vito. And William actually beat Good Vito by 1 placing. He got him by 1 placing. It was literally 9 places compared to 10 places. And Samir, I'm not going to lie to you. When I was watching it, I felt like such a dickhead because the whole time for their call out, they had Good Vito on one side and William was right there on the other side. And they kept moving William out to the outside. So I was like, oh my God, Good Vito's going to beat him. Good Vito's going to beat him in the judge's eye.
You know what? If I take Good Vito and spend 1 month with me, I would make him more masterful. If it doesn't want to come to me, he could go to a guy like Zayn. Then you will show that what this guy have. He's got a beautiful, complete, and symmetrical, but he's a barbaric in his presentation. He is his own biggest enemy in showing their body. So if you do that, then good luck. If he's going to continue with that kind of fashion and presenting his body, he's not going to get anywhere.
Yeah,
you need to show that body the right way, and you have to even show him how to be confident on stage. You can't be there like frightened, be scared to be on stage. You got to enjoy it and be there. You have the body is ready and be professional. They're not professional.
Yeah. Well, John, if you had any advice to give to Good Vito, would it be something similar to what Samir is saying? Like, would you echo what Samir is saying, or would you have any other advice?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, presentation is so important. So.
Very.
He's got the body. He's got the muscle, and we've seen him like in better condition than this. Yeah. So if he comes in with that condition, if you can just display it, I mean, it's just presentation is so important. These guys have to understand that.
Yeah. Well, he's missing nothing, John. If you look at Good Vito, he's missing nothing. But you go in and open his legs this wide, and you open his arm like that, and then every pose, his kneeling shot is like terrible. He does stuff that I'm looking, oh my God, I wish I was operating that body. If I have, believe me, I'll make that body place in the top 6 like that. 100%.
I mean, look at Earth when he came over from Classic, how he's able to hit the mandatory poses so spot on. His transitions, even just the mandatories, that's a big advantage for him. He's going to always place well if he's in shape because he can present his body better than most people,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it makes the whole world a different, man.
Yeah.
Presentation is everything. We talk about it over and over. And I think these guys should be smart enough to find a coach that help them show that body. Your coach, your nutritional coach, have no clue about the art of bodybuilding. They don't understand the art of bodybuilding. It's simple as that. I mean, the majority, 99.9% of the nutritional coaches, they don't understand presentation. and that's
No, it's not their job.
That's a downside, really.
Yeah. I mean, there's
that hurt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously at this point, I want to know any last thoughts from you guys about the show, like any takeaways for the Olympia. You guys were there, so I want to know the scoop. Just any last thoughts before we sign off. Like what was your just anything. Just please, John. I can start with you, man.
I feel Go ahead, John.
Like I said, the only thing I wish is that they would do is put it both on the same day. I think that would be great. I think the guys would peak better on a 12 o'clock Saturday show, instead of 10:30, 11 p.m. on Friday night. And I think it would be better for the audience. I think we could get more comparisons. But it was a great show. And I think the guys were in really good condition for the most part. Sometimes we go to these contests and there's like 2 or 3 that are in peak condition. Everybody else is a little bit off. Yeah. So, I think the guys were really in good shape this year. A lot of guys were really, and I'm looking forward to Andrew Jacked. I thought, we've been waiting for him to fulfill his promise, and I thought he did it this year. So I'm looking forward to, and then I think this placing is going to give him some confidence too. The first time he beat Samson, and I think he feels like he can win these shows now, which I think he needed to have that, in his mind. I think he needs to realize that. And I think if he has that mental attitude now, he's going to be a dangerous competitor. And hopefully we get to really see the best of him.
Yeah. Do you think he could win it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
Well, the way I saw things, not one of these guys showed up perfect in all days. Some of them messed up in the beginning. Some of them did really good in day 2. So I haven't seen one person hit it perfectly during the 48 hours. They were like 24 hours champion, and then they messed up the next 24 hours. We need to have someone that does it perfectly the whole 48 hours. I mean, the only guy that really impressed me the most, and this is outside of what we're doing here, it's Ramon. Ramon had the most beautiful body in the entire weekend.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, the entire weekend. Why? Beautiful body to look at, enough muscle, and he really, hand down, killed it. And I'm really happy for him. Yeah.
I feel like we could probably have a whole episode about that alone.
We need to talk about that.
I think we should
another
do that.
episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will. Yeah. We will. What do you think, John? What do you think about Ramon?
I thought he was really, really conditioned. I never saw him that conditioned. And, he still got plenty of muscle. I mean, a lot of times before he would try to make the weight and he would flatten out, but he was super conditioned and he didn't really flatten out. So,
I mean, tough lineup too. I mean, you could all
that top 3 was really great. Him, Sommerfeld, and Terrence Ruffin were all great.
He could improve his presentation yet, but I tell you, look at that muscle from ankle to his head. I mean, really pretty physique to look at.
Yeah.
Mike Badass was good too. But I favor the overall beauty of Ramon. And
I would have had Terrence in second too.
I agree.
Who you have second?
Terrence. Yeah, Terrence. I agree. I mean, this was the best Terrence we've seen.
Oh.
Yeah, he put on size from the last time he competed, which was 2 years ago. He took last year off.
Yeah.
And hands down the best poser in the game.
Oh my goodness. Talk about goosebumps.
No, you see, because honestly, the way he presents his body is really smart, and it really make his body, if he would pose like the other guys, forget it. He won't look any good. But look at the way he control it. He controlled everything, all these flexes. Look at that. Now this is
works so hard
champion.
on it, you can tell.
Yeah. He looks great. Honestly, he could have been second, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so beautiful body and really good poser. Really good poser.
I feel like in true old school fashion, we went right back to classic to finish it off. I mean, there's something to be said about that true love for old school and classic and just everything that it stands for. The presentation was just, bar none. Even 212, to be real. 212 was great too. Honestly, their presentation was awesome.
Jean, somebody I heard that my badass, that he had to drop, I think something like 20 pounds or more. Is that true?
Really? Wow.
I think he had to make it to that.
Somebody told me that
he did have to drop some weight. I don't think it was that much.
Yeah, I think it was like
he lost all that weight and put it back on just so he can make the scale to make weight.
Yeah.
Someone told me that, but I'm not sure. So, but he still looked really good.
Yeah. Well, I definitely feel like next week we should definitely come back and have a whole classic physique episode. And of course, we have the prog coming up. We touch base on that, but I think we can definitely, just give a whole, couple, at least an hour to classic, and of course, what we see happening at prog.
And I'll be back to 100%.
There we go.
So I'm functioning with a flu right now. I'm trying.
Well, hope you feel better, Samir. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. John, it's been a pleasure. I'm jealous and envious of you guys, but take care. Right. Please show up next week for the episode 106, prog and classic physique.
All right, guys. Good chatting with you again.
Later, everybody.
Okay. Have a good one.